They'd surge forward or look for some of this CS as Carrier now searching for the hook, finds the play first, end of the line comes on in, and that is a very dead irrelevant. Some last minute plates to come through, or last 3 minute plates, I guess, if you want to be technically correct. As Gumayusi looking for Vista here underneath the turret. The flash gets him out of the way of the hook as Vista's looking to keep himself alive. Owner now in trouble as Deft turns up once again. He gets exhausted immediately. Vista, what the heck was that? Unbelievable play from the Hanwa Life support. And the here flashes the hook, not quite long enough. Great double stun there from Morgan, but they are still going to be able to get pressure onto this turret. T1 wanting to grab that is now Vista looking to come round once again. There's the ulti to come through for Morgan. Only one person can take that lantern, and now Canna could be in trouble. He's down so low and trying to get the damage out as Deft finishes him off in the end. Morgan likely to fall as well. It's 2 for 1 so far for T1. And Hanwa Life Esports now forced to leave. Flash comes out from Chovy. That's one that he's going to go golden for a little while. Stands beside Willa, keeps himself alive for the moment. As Owner, below half health, great hook to come through from Carrier, but there is another stopwatch from this team. Of course, Willa, no way out. Wasn't going to invest the flash, as it turns out, as another bubble lands, but I think the T1 have finally won the fight. What do you think, Jono?
This is the most Chovy Life Esports scenario that you could imagine, as he's sitting back with mostly full health on the Zoe, trying to hit these pot shots while everyone else is blocking, and they're coming back in.
Does Deft have ultimate? No, he doesn't, as Owner could be in trouble here. One last auto. It's actually going to be the Zoe that picks it up with a bubble through the...
Is still the one making the better moves, right? They're earlier to the objectives. I think the shot calling is a little bit crisper, but in terms of raw mechanics, Hanwa Life is showing why they're in this quarterfinal.
Yep, Vista caught in amongst a whole lot of people as the Shockwave finds absolutely no one still. Carrier locks down that kill. In the meantime, Canna takes it.
It's so strong against Xin Zhao and the Aurelia and, of course, the Braum in this very rare circumstance where you can actually pull it off, is to actually pull people out of their engages as Deft might be in trouble.
Yeah, Canna looking for the dive right underneath his turret. He had the shield bow, and he's absolutely fine. Just walks up.
Yeah.
And you saw it a little bit in one of the earlier mid-game fights where they wanted to re-engage, but weren't able to, as they might go in here.
Faker looking for the Shockwave, finds it onto Willa there pretty comfortably as the ulti comes through to keep the Xin Zhao alive, but it's not going to work for long enough. The Gore Drinker certainly working out quite nicely, but it didn't change the fate of the
way is
Shockwave.
Shockwave.
Just walked into the Shockwave. He does use his Zonyas, but Willa is going to pay for his sins. The ulti comes down, and it is not going to save the Xin Zhao. Owner not done just yet, as Everfrost looks to try. Ready, massively ahead.
Yeah, they're already so far ahead. You don't have a jungler anymore as Hanwa Life Esports. 100% you can take this. Hanwa Life, this is a mistake to challenge.
Yeah, well, Carrier finds yet another hook, but there's no backup, as now Morgan looking to get in there, does dive into the back of the pit, as Hanwa looking for more. The Baron does go over to T1, but can they keep themselves alive? Will any of these Barons make it out of the pit, as Guma is about to say yes? The bullet time not finding the value they were looking for, but the bubble will now connect. And Chovy's going to find the paddle star there as well, so Owner has been taken down. To T1 is, okay, Owner going to take a little bit of a nap here, but he's just so tanky. Willa can't say the same thing as Morgan looks for some stuns, but he's not going to quite find them. The Crescent Guard looks to try and keep Willa alive, but it isn't as gone. T1 in so much control as Hanwa trying to do the very best to defend their base, but 2 inhibitors go down. 3-man Shockwave just found out of nowhere from Faker, as Willa, the only way that he can go is forward. He is Xin Zhao. This kid has not changed, and T1, they're looking to end it all right here, right now, as Morgan very low as well, trying to defend that one Nexus turret. Vista being a valiant defender, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Nexus turrets just melt at the hands of Gumayusi's Crescendum. The Nexus going to follow suit, and T1, all business in Game 1, destroy Hanwa Life Esports.
Very dominant performance. The early game, Hanwa Life Esports did trade a few back. They were able to stop that push on the top side. They got the follow-up Rift Herald there. But in the mid to late game, they didn't play to their win conditions as well as T1 did. Non-stop, using Kana to push, controlling waves, and with that controlling vision, meant Hanwa Life Esports couldn't wrestle back control. They were always one step behind with a composition that just can't play that way. You can't scale better than T1's comp with what they're running.
And here in this first game, we see both the reasons.
Here, that's the second teleport to come on in. Faker, no flash available, but now has full health once again. As Morgan, he can blast cone over, but the information is now there from T1. They know that this isn't going to work out, as Owner is going to steal away the Rift Herald. Now Morgan diving on in immediately. He gets exhausted. Canna looking for Willa on the backline, but has he overextended? It's a question. Morgan staying alive for so long, and first blood goes to Faker. Chovy gets smashed into the wall at the back of of Shelly's pit, but does make his way out. Gumayushi trying to get him as they're not going to fall for that funny business. It's a double.
Chovy, watch him try to find any damage, and it's just not realistic.
Well, the rest of the team coming on over. Shirley's down very, very low as it's the flash on forward to get things started, but Willa just throws his life away in the end. Canna, yep, pretty immune right now as Vista looking to try and get his way out. Oh, not quite able to land the passive just there as the piercing arrow does a lot of work. Canna eventually, with the help of a few dots, is able to take down the Nautilus as over the wall goes Chovy and into the death chamber with him as Morgan as well. The 8th place team in their region, because that's not what this represents, right? This represents T1 tidying up their gameplay so much more, as this was a 5-game series, as now Canna looking to try and get more done. Gumayushi, a massive ulti in the backline. The Varus just dies. I didn't even see what he got hit by. It just gets completely obliterated.
Baby coming through.
It was just needled. He was just needled as Canna is just so extraordinarily strong right now. Willa trying to get away, but he's not going to be able to. Gets the thumbs up, and Canna is indeed unstoppable.
And this is giving me flashbacks to what we saw, as he might still get popped here.
Well, we'll see how immune he's going to be. We're going to try and cut down the Crocodile. It's going to be difficult, but does still have his circle available. Yeah, exactly. T1, they can just go over and grab it. And yes, congratulations, Hanwa Life Esports. You do have yourselves a Baron. But Faker is going to come through and try and do a 1v2. Ults himself. Gets a bit of extra damage down there, but Faker should still die, but no. Able to walk his way out. Gonna fight for this blue buff. It is going to be secured there by Chovy, so at least there's that. And now Owner actually in a bit of trouble. He's gonna flash his way out. Faker there to follow up though as he dives on forward with that Ring of Frost. Still has the ultimate. Also has a Zhonya's as well as Faker. Actually going to fall here. He'd already used that Frozen Tomb, so unfortunately no option to have that one. It's a 1-for-1 thus far.
But there's so much vision here for T1 that Hanwa Life Esports had to push through.
It's going to rush it down. Morgan can dive on over the side. Steadfast presence is going to be there, and the Poppy locks down the Baron. Now can they win the fight, though, as they immediately just run over Chovy. And with Chovy dead, there is nothing left. It's a triple kill for Gumayushi, and Depp finds himself alone. I think this is the end for Hanwa Life Esports in game number 2. As Deft not going to be able to cleanse again, and that's going to be the ace given over. T1 storm down the mid lane in an extraordinarily dominant first 2 games. They'll bring themselves to match point.
They've neutered Deft in the early game. They prevented Chovy from getting a lead back-to-back, game after game here. Chovy's not able to carry. He's not able to pop off. Morgan not getting ahead. And these early game, extremely tempo-based compositions that we're seeing Hanwa Life Esports try to run into an extremely macro-aware T1. A T1 that's playing the early game around Herald control well, a T1 that's controlling vision well, is not where you want to be as Hanwa Life Esports. Maybe just draft all scaling. Put yourself in a position where you could play something like a Camille, where you've seen Morgan in the side lane find success there. Put Chovy on the Azir if you can get that champion available. Put him on the Victor and play not the Varus, but something like a Jinx Thresh. That was open. That's something we couldn't see from Hanwa Life Esports here, but they're running into a brick wall so hard, and I don't want to see them do it in game 3.
Yeah, and you're talking about, you know, the brick wall, but I want to just talk about how good T1 have looked, because it looks like we missed the health bar is extraordinarily low though, and T1 are closing in on this bottom side of the map. Deft, yeah, Vista's going to have to cancel the back because he doesn't want to leave Deft alone. Because the rake's going to be avoided this time. Deft is going to flash to get himself out of the way. Not a lot of summoner spells left remaining, and first blood goes to Gumi. And Shirley is now getting taken down. T1, let's see whether they can win this battle. Gravitum comes on out. Chains of Corruption are going to be the answer, so that means Hanwa should be able to get Shirley, but the Moonlight Vigil comes down. That's stolen away though. Owner actually diving forward. Faker using his ult to make sure no one can get out. Deft going to be the first victim. That's another one to go down as well, as unfortunately Will is not going to be able to Ragnarok that, and Chovy's still alive. Morgan is his only teammate that's also there, and unfortunately it's not for too much longer. He needs to try and get through both Canna and Faker. Okay, fight's continuing to erupt here. The flash has to come through because the return of the Rake was going to be enough to get rid of Chovy, and he's getting closed in upon. Carrier actually gets it with the
career. Hanwa Life Esports don't have any vision on the Baron. They know what's being done though. They're going to go through this choke point.
Yeah, some scary guns on Gumayushi as well as the ult comes forward from Vista, trying to start this one off in their favor. It's not the steal, and it's just a dead Willa to start this one off, but at least Morgan dives on forward, takes out Faker, tries to drive by, but it's not going to work. Deft now now going to be the focus. It's Gumayusi. That's so many chakrams. He is terrifying on this Aphelios. Vista going to get taken down, and now Ona parkours his way into this top lane. Deft a sitting duck right now, and it's the double kill to come through from the T1 jungler, and that I think was
early, but now Carrier
is going to get hooked.
Don't miss.
Yeah, Kerry is just a little bit too good on this Thresh. As Faker's going to come on through, throws down the ultimate.
Miracle can occur, because I mean, you are praying for a miracle if you're a Hanwa Life Esports fan. Tournament life on the line here.
I don't know, man. Even a miracle may not be enough here as Hanwa. They don't even get towards the pit. The Baron is secured. Willa now down extraordinarily low. It says he's unstoppable, but it's looking pretty stoppable right now as Gumayushi's dominating as he takes down the jungler. Hanwa now running for the hills as quickly as possible. Decent disengage ult from Vista as Chovy dives into the back line. Gets exhausted though straight away. Morgan with the dominance gets on top of Gumayushi, but there's so much peel, and he is going to be okay. Lantern thrown out for Faker as Chovy flashes himself out of the way. Morgan doing the same thing as Ona goes golden. Vista and Depth still alive for the moment, but the Talon has found Avaris, and yes, the base is being absolutely destroyed. Chovy now on the wrong side, and this is...
He was teleporting to the bot side wave, but Chovy interrupted him. It doesn't even matter though.
It's heroic, but it's not going to matter. T1 will 3-0 Hanwa Life Esports. They wanted to do this in the World's Gauntlet. Thankfully, they got a second try, and damn, second time was the charm.
T1 advanced to the semifinals in the most dominant fashion, I think, an international competition of League of Legends could even imagine. And I gotta say, I think Hanwa Life Esports fans are disappointed with the result. You go 0-3, but not only do you get dominated in 3 back-to-back games, but you try the same